Yo family, what's good? It's your boy Justbwise, and today we are talking about the Sony 85mm 1.8, and oh, it's gonna be a good day. Lately, I've been doing quite a bit more photography, so I'm gonna talk about this lens from a photographer's point of view as well as a videographer's point of view. I know normally I just talk about the video parts of the lens, but that would be completely disrespectful to this lens. So I'm just gonna go all out. And let me tell you, spoiler alert, the lens is amazing. If that's all you wanted to know, you can leave the video. Please don't. I would like for you to stay a little bit longer, but if you wanted to, you should go buy the lens. Okay, so let's quickly talk about all the boring stuff that, we don't really want to care about. And then we'll talk about the actual fun stuff, like how does the image look. Okay, so let's start off talking about cost. This lens is about 550 bucks right now on Amazon, and the G Master version of the lens is about $1,700. Bruh, that's like more than 3 times as much for roughly the same lens. Now I know it's not exactly the same. I believe the G Master version of the lens is also a 1.4, which is a big difference, but bruh, 3 times as much money? Let's see if this lens is gonna be good enough for you today. Because again, you already know, budget filmmaker, and now budget photographer, because your boy been, but let's see if this can hold up, at least for what we're looking for. Because really at the end of the day, all we care about is the overall image. Now, this lens pairs great with Sony's compact body style. I feel like it's not too big and heavy, but at the same time, it's not super light and crappy feeling like some of the cheaper things that you can get that feel like, if you use it a little bit too rough, it might crumble in your hands. You know what I'm talking about. But anyway, also, if you notice here on the side, let me see if I can get this thing to focus in for you. It has the autofocus button here where you can turn it on and off, and also a custom button there that you can map to a bunch of different functions. I haven't really used the custom button. However, the autofocus to manual focus switch has come in very handy in times where the autofocus wasn't my best option, and I was able to just flip the switch, boom, now I'm in manual, rotate, find my focus, and boom, take the shot. Because as you know, a lot of times photography is all about timing, and if you have, my daughter agrees, and if your timing is thrown off because you have to move the camera away to change your autofocus or whatever, that can slow you down a bit. This helps you keep your shots on. You don't have to move the camera from your face or anything. Speaking of manual focus, the ring feels very good. It's very smooth. It was very easy for me to dial my focus. I actually mostly shot with this in manual focus just because of how easy it was for me to dial in my focus using this focus ring. So that's something that you care about. Maybe you want to shoot all in autofocus, which we're going to talk about now. But if not, I will let you know the manual focus ring feels really good. And again, like I said, everything about the build quality is good. It doesn't feel like, the ring is gonna snap off or anything, which I don't know why I said snap off. I've never experienced. Let's go to the next section. Now let's take a look at that autofocus. First, in photography. Now the autofocus here is actually pretty snappy and right on. Also, this being, I'm shooting on the A7 II, which as you guys know, if you saw my review, the autofocus is not great on the A7 II, but it feels really good with this lens. So the autofocus may be even better on some of the other bodies that have come out after. So maybe if you have the new A7 III, or, you can just go on and on and on. Okay, Raya, you can just go on and on and on. And the autofocus in the bodies have improved so much that this autofocus may be flawless. Don't know yet. I don't have those bodies, but here, as you can see with some of the tests I ran, that the autofocus works out pretty good. And now here, I did use a few different modes just in case you guys use different modes out there in the field, so you can see how the autofocus dials in regardless of what mode you're using. All right, now let's take a look at the autofocus for video. Now, these shots were all done in f-stop 1.8, which can make your autofocus a little bit more difficult. And I found that the autofocus was fairly reliable, but again, that could be a little bit because of I'm shooting on the A7 II, which doesn't have the best autofocus and not really a fault of the lens. So I wouldn't depend on it if you're shooting on it with an A7 II. You can use it, but I wouldn't fully just depend on the autofocus. I would go ahead, use manual, get your shots, and you know, do your thing. Okay, now for what everybody's been waiting for. Yo, this lens is so stinking sharp, yo. This lens is crazy. Like, bruh, look at some of these images. I never do the whole pixel peep and tom thing. I just like to look at the photos like a normal person. So I'm sure there are some issues with this lens. I know it's not a perfect lens. As a matter of fact, I've seen some chromatic aberrations. Aberrations? What? Aberrations. So I know it's not a perfect lens because there's no such thing. You know, there's no such thing as a perfect lens. But just looking at the overall image as a whole, you're going to be extremely satisfied. Battery exhausted, come on, cuz. So my battery just died. Hopefully we can pick up where we left off. Charge your batteries before you shoot. You are going to be extremely satisfied with the images you get out of this lens. I can't see how you cannot be. It's impossible. If you're not satisfied with the images that come out of this lens, it's you. It's you, bruh. You the problem. Not the lens, not the camera, you. I'm sorry, I'm not mean. It's not you, it's me. Nah, it's you. It's probably you. This lens has made me fall in love with taking portraits. Now, so if you're a portrait photographer, yeah, you need this lens. If you're a photographer, yeah, you need this lens. If you're thinking about being a photographer, yeah, you need it. No, all right, I'm going overboard. But also on the video side of things, this lens is so good for getting detailed shots. I know a lot of people love how the old style of Peter McKinnon's B-roll, he shot a lot on an 85mm lens. So if you're looking to do more of that style of B-roll, then that's this. You want something like this so that you can pull off those super clean, crispy looking B-rolls. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Get this lens. I normally don't aggressively tell you guys to go buy something. If you're looking into getting a lens, you don't have a telephoto lens, get this lens. I don't know what else to tell you. Ryan, what else should I tell them? Nothing? I don't have nothing else to tell you.
Now, I want to hear from anybody else out there who's watching the video just because they love the lens so much they're watching any video they can to talk about their lens because it's their favorite lens. Please comment down below to tell these people why they need to get the lens, or if you hate the lens, which I'm sure there's going to be no comments about people who hate this lens because this lens is amazing. But if you happen to be the one person with a Sony camera who has this lens who doesn't like it, please let us know why. Also, if you have any questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section below. And if you like the video, please like the video. As always, I'm Justbwise. I gave you tools to create. Now go be great. Peace.